Yeah, Kimberly set her alarm for midnight for a very good reason. And it wasn't Santa Claus. It was Hawkeye. Hawkeye episode 4. Now, you guys know I was not the biggest fan of Hawkeye episodes 1 and 2. It had some good things going for it, but overall, I was kind of underwhelmed by it. Episode 3 was quite good. And it was the first time that I went, okay, now I'm excited to see the next episode. And episode 4 came out last night, and it's not bad. Here's where I rank it. I put it above episodes 1 and 2, and we're not going to talk in any spoilerish kind of ways. I will let you guys know, though, a little bit later today at 3 p.m. Pacific time, that's 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be doing our Hawkeye open spoiler post-game discussion. That will be, again, at 3 p.m. LA time, 6 p.m. New York time. If you guys want to talk about all the open spoiler details about the episode, come on back and join us for that at that time. But for now, we're just going to talk about the episode in some non-spoilery kind of ways. So, a couple of things that were really good, that I really, really enjoyed, were things that they did hint in the episode preview that they had put out on YouTube. One, the 4-way conversation at the dinner table of Kate Bishop, Clint, Jack, and Kate's mom. That was a great conversation. I was just grinning the entire time that conversation was going on. It was fun and funny. And then even when Clint's leaving, we won't talk about the details, but when Clint and Kate's mom have a quick conversation afterwards too, I thought that was a really great conversation.
Yeah,
that was great. We of course saw in the preview that there was some masked figure with the green goggles on and stuff like that. That fight sequence was actually a pretty good fight sequence. Still not as good as the fight sequence in episode 3 when Clint and Kate, Clint gets the tape off his hands and they have that big fight with the tracksuit gang or tracksuit mafia, whatever they call themselves. But it was still a pretty decent fight scene. There wasn't a lot the reason I don't think this episode was quite as good as, like, say, episode 3 was there wasn't actually a lot that happened. There really wasn't much. And for a show that is only 6 episodes long, I would expect, because the big excuse people make when I say, look, television shows should be 20 episodes. A season should be 20 something episodes.
I agree.
The greatest shows of all time have always done that, right? And then people make excuses saying, oh no, if you have shorter seasons and you have less filler. You know what? I find that the great shows that are long in seasons are great. The great shows that are short in seasons are great. But when you got 6 episodes and you still have what you feel like is a little bit of a filler episode, it's like, and that's what's just 6 episodes. But again, I'm not saying that Hawkeye episode 4 was a straight up filler episode. I'm not saying that. But there wasn't a whole lot that came undone. We do learn a little bit more about the Watch, which we'll talk about in the spoiler discussion later. So that was kind of interesting. We do get an interesting, phone conversation between Clint and his wife. Again, we won't talk about the details of that, but we'll talk about that in the spoiler discussion. But yeah, there was enough in there that I'm like, yeah, I like this episode. Better than episodes 1 and 2. Not quite as good as episode 3. But, I mean, you and I were talking about this before the show started today, Kim. There are only 2 episodes left.
I know.
And I feel like this show hasn't even really gotten started yet. You know what I mean? Am I the only one that feels that way? I feel like this show hasn't even really gotten started, and yet we've only got 2 episodes left. So these final 2 episodes better be packed.
Yeah.
Like, better be packed with stuff and everything. I don't know, like, Ray, I know you've been kind of lukewarm on this series so far. What were your general feelings about the episode last night?
I thought it was good. I actually enjoyed it. I liked how mysterious. Can I even? Oh, never mind.
No, this.
Okay.
Just speaking broad generalities.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoyed it, but I want to point out that episode 5s are usually bonkers.
It better be bonkers because they've only got 2 episodes left.
Yeah.
I mean, and now it should be pointed out too, to your point, Ray, episode 5 is going to be the final episode before Spider-Man No Way Home comes out.
Oh,
right. So episode 5 will drop at Tuesday night for us, Wednesday morning for most people. And then like 38 hours after that, Spider-Man No Way Home comes out. Right. So if they're going to do something bonkers, I'll say this. we've all been speculating about whether Uncle is Vincent D'Onofrio Kingpin. That's the time to reveal it. That's the time to reveal it. Because, I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, you know, Kevin Feige recently said, oh yeah, Charlie Cox is going to be our Daredevil if we ever do Daredevil. So, but if Charlie Cox is going to pop up in Spider-Man No Way Home, now's the time to reveal Kingpin. I feel like you've only got 2 episodes left. Kim, what were your general feelings on the episode?
Oh, totally. I feel like the energy of the episode, it was a little slow for me, although it did have a great fight scene in it. The pacing was a bit off for me. This definitely is, out of all the episodes, this is my least favorite. It has to pick up. We have 2 episodes left. I know the runtime for the series is 45 to 50 minutes. You have to max it out at 50 minutes for the last 2 episodes is what I feel.
But you know what? I feel like we say that for every single one of the Marvel Disney Plus shows so far. He gets into the last episode, two's like, this one's got to be an hour. This one's, right? And it normally isn't. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. So I wonder if they're going to max out that time, because I feel like there's still so much story to be told. But then again, it's all within the timeline of right before Christmas, and they're counting down. The days are going by and cool stuff is happening. But I feel like we're going to get some great action and definitely get some answers in the next 2 episodes. We have to. There's only 2 left.
And what has now become traditional with the Disney Plus Marvel shows is that once you get into the second half of the season, that's when the post-credit scenes start popping up in the episode. So I was sitting there, it's like, ooh, there's like 10 minutes. Like once the show ended, I hit pause to see that there was still 10 more minutes left of the show. I'm like, well, there's got to be the post-credit scene.
Nah.
Nope. I went there, no post-credit
no
scene
surprises.
Yet. No surprises. So that's okay. Let me ask you guys just quick for a quick because we'll go into more detail in the spoiler discussion later, but let me ask you guys for a quick prediction.
Okay.
Does Clint get home in time for Christmas? Number 1, does Clint get home in time for Christmas? And number 2, when he gets home, is it in a body bag?
No, they wouldn't. It's Christmas, man. It's Christmas.
You don't think they have him die?
No, they don't have. Man, that would be cold. Just cold. Seriously, why would they? Merry Christmas, everyone.
Are they gonna wrap his ashes in a nice, pretty box and
sing
put a bow on it?
He's already made fun of like the character Hawkeye compared to the other Avengers.
Yeah.
He's already one of the least, talked about. But you're gonna kill him too? No, come on, man.
Merry Christmas, kids.
We're gonna create the show just to kill him.
No. Central to everything surrounding him is that he's a father.
Yeah.
He is a father. He's a great father, and he's a husband. He's a great husband. I think he opens that door. There's gonna be hot chocolate waiting for him. He might even do some arrow action to get some marshmallows into that cup of hot chocolate. But
so
no,
you
he
think
makes
a big
it home.
Christmas happy ending?
Oh yeah,
a big Christmas happy ending.
Yeah.
This episode did start about his background, Clint's background. They started getting into it more.
Yeah, they started doing more of that. Yeah, and which is actually really, really good. There were some heavier moments. Again, we won't go into details.
You're right.
But there's some heavier conversation moments too, including a story that he starts to tell Kate.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that may have been my favorite. And again, we'll talk about that in this, but that would have been my favorite moment of the series so far.
It was emotional.
Telling that story.
The pieces are moving.
Yeah.
They're starting to move, and they're getting closer together right now.
This episode was emotional.
Yeah. There was some good emotional stuff. Again, I think it was better than episodes 1 and 2. I did not think it was as good as episode 3.
What you think about Kate in this episode? Do you like her more now? I actually like her a little bit more.
You know what? Episode 3, once the show, because look, the episodes 1 and 2, this show shouldn't be called Hawkeye. It should be called Kate Bishop. Right. And please, no more crying. John, in the comic books, Kate Bishop becomes. I don't give a fuck. We're talking about what's on the screen. We're not talking about this. So don't give me any of that shit. The show is called Hawkeye. And what I did not like about, one of the things I didn't like about episodes 1 and 2 is this show isn't even about Hawkeye. This show is even the opening credit titling was just all Kate Bishop.
I feel like episode 3 kind of solves that a bit.
I kind of felt like episode 3, as soon as they started shifting gears a little bit,
it was a Clint Barton
and
show.
it started to become
becoming
a Hawkeye show.
Yeah.
With Kate Bishop as a really good supporting character to Hawkeye. She started to grow on me. And I found that continued in this episode. I'm actually liking the Kate Bishop character because I did not like her at all in the first 2 episodes. I didn't find her to be a good character. But as they started shifting the focus, the character's growing on me.
Maybe that's what it was supposed to be. Hawkeye is supposed to be changing. Because remember the first 2 episodes?
Yeah, but
I figured they have to
be isn't an excuse for being bad.
They have to introduce the character. So I get maybe 1 episode of like introducing her, but they took 2 episodes to show us that, which is they could have used that episode for something else. But you know what I mean? They had to introduce this character, and maybe that's where Hawkeye makes the biggest impact is on her. And I still think you should have started with the emphasis on him and then introduced her and made, but they did what they did, but I'll say she's growing on me. All right, guys, listen, we'll go into more details on the open spoiler discussion a little bit later today. Come on back and join us for that. But for now, what did you think about Hawkeye episode 4? Again, I thought it was better than the first 2 episodes. I like this episode, not quite as good as 3, but what do you guys feel? How bonkers do the final 2 episodes need to be? When are we going to start seeing post-credit scenes? Does Clint make it home in time for Christmas? And if so, is it in Santa's body bag sack? Santa shows up, ho, ho, ho. You are the Grinch. You are the Grinch.
A big dead Clint flops out. Anyway, guys, whatever you guys are thinking about that, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.